There are moments in your day that are supposed to be simple: making coffee, hearing a car door slam, getting a text message. But for some of us, these moments aren't simple at all. They carry a weight, an echo from the past that changes everything. This isn't about the dramatic flashbacks you see in movies. This is about the quiet, invisible ways trauma rewires your experience of being alive. So today, we're talking about 10 everyday moments that feel completely different when you're living with the ghost of what happened. Number 1, receiving a compliment. For most people, a compliment is a small gift. Someone says, "You did a great job on that project," or "I love your shirt." And it brings a little rush of warmth, a moment of connection. It's simple, it's nice, and it's accepted at face value. But when you're carrying trauma, a compliment can feel like a test. Instead of warmth, there's immediate suspicion. The first thought isn't, "Thank you," it's, "What do they want?" Your mind starts racing, trying to figure out the hidden agenda. Is this manipulation? Are they just being nice so they can ask for a favor later? Or worse, do they actually believe it? That can be the scariest question of all. When trauma has convinced you of your own worthlessness, genuine praise feels like a lie. It doesn't fit the story you've been taught about yourself, so you deflect it, downplay it, or wait for the other shoe to drop. Because in your experience, good things are often a trap. A kind word can feel more dangerous than a harsh one, because you haven't learned how to defend yourself against kindness. Number 2, a sudden loud noise, a car backfiring, a dish shattering on the floor, a balloon popping at a party. For someone without a trauma history, this is a momentary jolt. They might jump, their heart might skip a beat, and then they identify the source, and their nervous system calms right back down. Oh, it was just a plate. The moment is over. For a person with trauma, that same sound is not just a sound, it's a signal. The body doesn't wait for the brain to identify the source. It reacts instantly. The heart doesn't just skip a beat. It starts hammering against your ribs. Your breath catches in your throat. Your muscles tense up, ready to run or fight. This is your body's alarm system, known as the fight or flight response, being triggered. The problem is, trauma can make that alarm system hypersensitive. It's stuck in the on position, so while everyone else has already forgotten the noise, you're left standing there, flooded with adrenaline and fear, your body screaming, "Danger," even when your mind knows you're safe. It's like living in a house where the smoke detector goes off every time you make toast. Number 3, plans being canceled. Someone cancels dinner plans. A friend says they can't make it to the movies. Disappointing? Sure. But for most, it's a simple change of plans. Okay, no problem. Let's reschedule. When your past has taught you that the world is unstable and people are unreliable, a canceled plan can feel like a personal rejection of your entire being. It's not just an inconvenience. It feels like confirmation of your deepest fears. I knew it. I'm not important. I'm going to be abandoned. The emotional reaction is completely out of proportion to the event. It can trigger feelings of intense sadness, anxiety, or even anger. This happens because trauma shatters your sense of safety and predictability. You might try to control your environment to feel safe, and when a small plan falls apart, it feels like your entire world is crumbling with it. The stability you tried so hard to build feels like it's been ripped out from under you by a simple text message. Number 4, someone being unexpectedly kind. A stranger holds the door for you for a little too long. A coworker brings you a coffee just because. A partner does something thoughtful without being asked. These are moments of grace in a normal day. But for someone who has learned that people who are supposed to care for you can also hurt you, kindness can be terrifying. It creates a feeling of debt. Now I owe them something. Or it creates suspicion. No one is this nice for no reason. You might find yourself pulling away from the person, becoming cold or distant to reestablish a sense of safety. Intimacy, even the small, casual kind, feels threatening. You've learned to survive by keeping people at arm's length. When someone tries to cross that boundary, even with a kind gesture, all your internal alarms go off. You've built a fortress around your heart, and you've forgotten that some people approach with gifts, not weapons. Number 5, being alone in a quiet room. For many, solitude is a luxury. A quiet room is a place to recharge, to think, to finally relax. The silence is peaceful. For someone with trauma, a quiet room is often the loudest place on earth. When there are no external distractions, no TV, no music, no conversation, the internal noise takes over. This is when the intrusive thoughts, the flashbacks, and the difficult memories rush in to fill the space. The silence isn't peaceful, it's empty, and your mind will fill that emptiness with its greatest fears. Being alone means you have to sit with yourself, and sometimes you are the one person you're most afraid of being with. The quiet gives the past a microphone, so you might find yourself constantly needing noise, always having the TV on, always listening to music, anything to keep the silence and what it holds at bay. Number 6, making a small mistake, spilling your coffee, forgetting to send an email, taking the wrong turn while driving. These are minor annoyances. Most people would say, oops, clean up the mess, and move on with their day without a second thought. When your sense of self-worth has been damaged by trauma, a small mistake doesn't feel small. It feels like a catastrophe. It's seen as definitive proof of your incompetence, your failure as a person. One little error can trigger a spiral of intense shame and self-criticism. The inner voice becomes a relentless bully, telling you how stupid you are, how you can't do anything right. This often stems from past experiences where mistakes, no matter how small, led to severe consequences or harsh punishment. As a result, you can become a perfectionist, not out of a desire to excel, but out of a deep-seated fear of failing. Perfection becomes a shield, and any crack in it feels like a threat to your very existence. Number 7, a simple question, like can we talk? This question, whether in a text or in person, usually just means someone wants to have a conversation. It might spark a little curiosity, but it doesn't typically cause panic. For someone whose brain has been trained to anticipate threats, these 4 words are among the most terrifying in the English language. They are a blank canvas onto which you project your worst fears. Your mind immediately jumps to the worst-case scenario. I'm getting fired. They're breaking up with me. They found out about something I did wrong. Your body goes into emergency mode before you even know what the conversation is about. This is because trauma wires the brain for threat detection. It's constantly scanning the horizon for danger, and an ambiguous message like, can we talk, is a huge red flag. It's the uncertainty that is so agonizing. You're left in a state of high alert, bracing for an impact that may never even come. Number 8, watching a movie or a TV show. Settling in to watch a movie is a common way to unwind and escape. You get invested in the characters and the story, and for a couple of hours, you're in a different world. When you have trauma, you can never fully escape. You might be watching a family drama, a thriller, or even a comedy, and suddenly a scene will hit too close to home. A character yelling, a scene of an accident, a storyline involving betrayal. It can be anything, and just like that, you're no longer in your living room. You're pulled back into your own memories. The emotional line between the fiction on the screen and your own reality blurs. You might find yourself having a strong emotional reaction that seems out of place, or you might dissociate, feeling numb and disconnected from what's happening. It turns an act of relaxation into a minefield where you're constantly on guard for the next potential trigger. Your own history becomes an uninvited character in every story you watch. Number 9, feeling happy or joyful. Moments of genuine happiness, laughing with friends, feeling proud of an accomplishment, enjoying a beautiful day, are what life is all about. When you're used to living in a state of high alert, pure, uncomplicated happiness can feel incredibly uncomfortable and unsafe. The moment you feel joy, another voice might whisper, don't get too comfortable. It's not going to last. This is sometimes called foreboding joy. You're waiting for something to go wrong, for the other shoe to drop, because your experience has taught you that good feelings are temporary and often followed by pain. You might even sabotage your own happiness because the feeling of waiting for disaster is more familiar and therefore more comfortable than the vulnerability of just being happy. It's a cruel paradox. The very feeling you want the most is the one your body is conditioned to reject. Number 10, going to sleep. For most, the end of the day is a welcome relief. You get into bed, your body relaxes, and you drift off to sleep. For a trauma survivor, the night can be the most challenging part of the day. Sleep requires you to let your guard down, to surrender control. This is a terrifying prospect when your nervous system is convinced you need to be on guard at all times to survive. The quiet of the night can bring intrusive thoughts. The darkness can feel threatening. Many struggle with nightmares that force them to relive their experiences. Bedtime isn't a time of rest. It's a time of bracing for a long, difficult night. This is why insomnia is so common among people with trauma. Sleep is not a sanctuary. It's another place where the past can find you. It's hard to rest when a part of you is still standing watch. So, if you've ever felt like you're overreacting to a small mistake, or if you can't understand why a kind word makes you want to run, you're not broken. You're not being dramatic. You are a person whose body and mind learn to adapt to survive an unbearable situation. Now, you're living with those adaptations in a world that doesn't always understand them. Recognizing that these everyday moments feel different is the first step. It's the beginning of understanding that your reactions are not the problem. They are a sign of what you've had to overcome. If this video helped you understand yourself or someone else a little better, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We need more conversations like this. And for the comments, I have a question for you. What's one small, everyday moment that you've noticed feels different for you? Share it below if you feel comfortable. Reading through them reminds us all that we're not isolated in these experiences. Thank you for watching.